Hello, my name is Chris and today I want to quickly talk about keeping cigarettes in the house when quitting smoking. I understand it's a little different if we live with someone who is smoking and has no desire to quit. We often don't get to choose whether they keep their cigarettes, their lighters, their rolling papers in the house. But the good thing about quitting smoking is that we always get to choose for ourselves what we do. We get to choose our behaviours and actions. We choose whether we quit, we choose whether we respond to a situation by relapsing, and we choose whether or not to keep cigarettes in the house. And some people do. And I quite often see some people saying, okay, I quit smoking, but I kept a packet of cigarettes in the house to prove to myself that I didn't need them. They were there, but I wanted to prove that I could go without them. And when I hear that, I think, prove to who? Prove to whom? I have no idea. Prove to who, right? If it's to prove to somebody else, then I'm pretty sure that the people who love and care about you, the people whose opinions should really matter, they already know that you can do it. They already have absolute faith in you, and they are going to support you all the way because they do love and care about you. And if it's to prove it to yourself, if you need to prove to yourself that you don't need cigarettes, you've already done that. If you can watch the length of my video, and let's be honest, I talk for a long time, if you can watch a video of mine without cigarettes, you've proven that you don't need cigarettes. If you go to bed for 8 hours, unless you wake up in the middle of the night and smoke, unless you sleepwalk and light up in your sleep, which I don't think happens, you've proven that you can go without cigarettes. If you get on an aeroplane, you don't smoke, you've proven that you can go without cigarettes. If you go to the cinema, if you go to a restaurant, you've proven that you can go and do things without cigarettes. But I need to prove that I can get through this hard thing in my life. I need to really make it difficult for myself. So I'm going to keep these cigarettes here and just prove it. You've already proven too that you can get through whatever life has to throw at you. I'm not saying that for every single person quitting smoking is the hardest thing they'll ever do. For some people it isn't. But at some point in our lives, we all do go through something which, up to that point, was the most difficult challenge we'd ever faced. And we lived through it. So if we can live through that and emerge the other side, we can live through this quit smoking thing. There's nothing to prove. Everything that we need to prove has already been proven. We've proven that we can go without cigarettes, and we've proven that we have what it takes to get through any challenge life has to throw at us. Yeah, but Chris, that's not the reason why I keep cigarettes in my house. I keep cigarettes because if I do relapse, then at least they're there, you know, and then I can just have one. Come on. I make these videos and I always try to give you my opinion, tell you what I believe, and then sort of let you decide for yourself what to do about it. But in this instance, I'm really going to say, come on, man. You're keeping those cigarettes in case you relapse. Is there any need? If those cigarettes weren't there and you were absolutely determined to relapse, it wouldn't matter whether those cigarettes were there or not. But if they weren't there and you were absolutely determined to succeed in your quit, not having cigarettes in the house makes it so much, it gives you so many more opportunities to make a different decision. And I think that's what's most important. I come back to this all the time in my videos, that we quit smoking one decision at a time, because that's all that we have, are the decisions that we make. If you decide, okay, do you know what, I really want to quit smoking, but I'm really stressed right now, this thing happened, I'm deciding that I want to smoke. If those cigarettes are in the kitchen drawer, there are maybe 2 or 3 points at which we can stop and decide to do something differently. When we leave the room, when we enter the kitchen, when we open the kitchen drawer, when we grab the cigarette packet out. So what's that, 4 or 5? If those cigarettes are out of the house and we have to go to the shop to buy them, then there are so many more opportunities to stop and make a different decision. We may leave the room and then decide to go to the bathroom instead. We may go downstairs and put our shoes and our coat on, but then decide to go for a walk, or decide to take them back off again and go back and sit in the living room. We may leave the house, but again then we can decide to go for a walk, to go somewhere else. We may even go to the shop, but we don't have to go inside the shop. There's no law that says if you go to the store to buy cigarettes that you have to buy cigarettes. You can even go into the store and even not buy anything, or I don't know, like buy toilet roll and stock up instead. There are so many more opportunities to make a different decision than there are if those cigarettes are just in the drawer. And like I said, if you are absolutely determined, then it's not going to make a difference whether those cigarettes are there or not. Chris, it's not for that either. I keep this cigarette, or like I keep this one, like I can't think of the word, like a memento or a reminder of the time that I smoked. I keep this one cigarette and lighter as a reminder to myself of what I used to do, so that I never go back to it. There are plenty of other ways to remind us without making it so easy to relapse. You know, there are no cigarettes or lighters in my house. I tell a lie, there are lighters for lighting candles, but it's kind of the big ones, not cigarette lighters. But there are no cigarettes or smoking stuff, but I still know how bad my smoking got, and I still know how much better it is to not smoke. So if you're sort of debating, you know, do I keep these cigarettes in my house when I'm quitting smoking? I think, well, what for? It's not going to do you any, nothing good could possibly come from keeping cigarettes in the house, and you don't need them anyway. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to make it so easy for yourself to pick up a cigarette. But Chris, there's so much money. I spent money on these cigarettes. I can't just throw them in the bin. Well, I mean, okay. You can't just throw this money in the bin. But then if you smoke the cigarettes, what actual tangible benefit do you get from it? All you're doing when we smoke, or we're doing when we smoke, is paying for the privilege of polluting and choking and coughing our lungs. It's basically throwing money away anyway. And if you really just can't bear to part with the idea of throwing this money away is so terrible, give them to someone else who has no intention of quitting. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that's been helpful, or just giving you something to think about. This was just something that was going through my mind as I made the last video, so I thought, while it's fresh in my mind, I'll come and make this and tell you about it now. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, I was looking for a copy of my book. I can't remember where I put it. Oh, here it is. It's called Quit Smoking and Be Happy. A lot of similar kind of things that I talk about on my YouTube channel are in this book, available in print and ebook format. The links are in the description below. We also have our wonderful community of people who are at all stages of their quit journey in our Facebook group, Finding Freedom, facebook.com/findingfreedom1. Thank you so much for watching. For more weekly videos like this one, please do consider subscribing. Otherwise, I will see you next time. Goodbye.